All right, let's talk about everyone's favorite quarterback, Sam Howell. Interesting player, the former fifth round selection, who, just to sort of recap, if you're not someone who has followed his career very closely, he, coming out of college, didn't really show the best physical upside, but had a ton of success and a ton of production at the college level, even when he wasn't in great situations. And it made certain people very high on him. Some people even had him as a first round talent, despite him falling all the way to the first selection of round 5. Last year, we saw him really have a great preseason, but he wasn't able to get hardly any playing time. He only started one game for Washington and looked good in that game and has now earned a starting job after continuing to impress the coaches here in the preseason. But what have I seen in the preseason? I wanted to watch the tape myself and say, does it make sense for him to be the starter? Well, let's get into it. A play like this, very simple play where you have the one eligible receiver who's lined up on the line towards the offense's right. He's going to run a route to try and just clear out that area, clear out the Ravens who are in that area. The halfback then runs out and hopefully can get open. You can pick up the first down on a second down and 2. Don't even have to worry about a third down. We'll watch how when Howell takes the snap, he is going to quickly fire this one. And I mean, you see, it's wide open. To me, this is what I saw a lot of from Howell in this game. Guys were getting open and he was just doing his part, which that could be considered an insult. Oh, you're just doing your part. You're just running the offense. But you know what? At the same time, getting the ball out quickly, hitting the open guy, there's certainly a skill in that. And look, as you see, Howell does make the throw, and they're able to pick up a first down. I'm not saying this was all we saw from Howell. We'll, get into more impressive plays later on, but this was definitely a chunk of what we saw. And, to be fair, this is an underneath play. I did think that's kind of where a lot of, his strengths came from, were those underneath plays, but not all of them. Something like this is another interesting one where I believe it's a little bit hard to tell, just given it's the broadcast angle. I can't see the whole concept on the screen, but I believe this is a zone coverage play with Ravens players dropping back into coverage. I believe that's what's happening here. Watch how when this play begins, you're going to see Howell look up. He looks towards that route that I showed on the screen. And you notice the ball was tipped, which is very interesting. This is the 4th down and 3. If he just threw the ball without the tip, it for sure would be an easy completion. But even with the tip, with how much muscle he put on this football, as you see, it's still caught for a completion. Granted, part of that is just shows how open his receiver got right there. That's former first-round pick Jahan Dotson, now entering his second year. So maybe this is more of a Jahan Dotson highlight reel play than anything else. But again, kind of goes to show he's running the offense effectively. And something like this, I think, is maybe a good example of kind of what I'm talking about, but to showcase what he can do to add talent. Because, you think about game managers. Listen, there's quarterbacks who have MVP winning seasons by being game managers. And even someone like, I think, Tua last year, who was, an MVP candidate at the very least, before he got injured, largely due, at least partially due to stuff like we're going to see Howell do on this play. It's a 3rd down and 8, and you have the 2 Ravens players on that side of the field playing man coverage. So the way this play is designed to work is very similar to that first play. The guy who is currently lined up on the line, the only player lined up on the line to the offense is right. He's going to essentially, it's almost like a pick play. He's going to try and get in the way of the linebacker who's supposed to cover the halfback. Then the halfback can run kind of an underneath route and hopefully get open. Again, 3rd down and 8, so it's going to be tough to get the first down this way, but there's a chance it could work. Watch how, when it begins, you see that right here, this is how the play is designed to work. Hit the halfback, hopefully the halfback can run and pick up the first down. So, okay, if your halfback is going to have to get the first down after they make the catch, what are they going to, what's the way to do that? It's going to rely in large part on the quarterback. The quarterback can't just throw for a completion here, because if the quarterback hits the halfback right where he's currently standing, it'll be a completion, but it won't be a first down. Howell is going to have to hit him in stride for this to be a, first down and then hopefully a touchdown, because there's only a 1-yard difference between those two things. And as you see, that's exactly what Howell does. It's perfectly where he needed it to be. It's not just a completion on an easy throw, because, that should have been a completion. That easily should have been a completion. But it was to put it right on the money. That's really where I thought that he, that's where he thrived on that play. And that's kind of what he showed in this game, I thought. This play was the ultimate positive play from Sam Howell. If you are a Sam Howell believer, this is the play that you shared on Facebook or whatever. This is the one where I don't have the concept even written down because it's not going to work as intended right away. Watch how when this play begins, you see that this is a peculiar position for Sam Howell to be in. He looks down the field and doesn't love what he sees. On top of this, you see a Baltimore player very close to being able to make a play on Sam Howell. And I don't get this about Sam Howell. He's not a big guy. He's not overly shifty. He's not overly quick, but he just seems like impossible for defenders to tackle. Watch him, evade one potential sack and evade another potential sack to get outside the pocket. And he does this consistently. It's incredible how he's able to make this happen. I mean, it really is remarkable that he can do this. So, okay, good job. You got outside the pocket, but now you have to try to find someone down the field, and Jahan Dotson is open off screen right here. So Sam Howell is in fact going to throw this one off balance, and they're able to pick up a big completion, get to the 13-yard line. I mean, that's good stuff from Sam Howell. Like that's just how you have to look at it. It's really good stuff from Sam Howell to be able to make that kind of thing happen. And again, he's one of those guys where it's like, you look at this play and say, okay, well, how consistently can you do something like that? There's so much luck that comes into being able to break a tackle, being able to, find someone down the field, make this stuff happen. Like, how consistent can someone do that? And the reality is, we do need to see him do it in an NFL like actual game, right? In a regular season game against first team players consistently, because the Ravens didn't play first team guys for the entire first half like Washington did. So we do need to see Howell do it for a bigger sample size, but the reality is, it is something where there is something to just get the guy who has success and guy who finds the way to get the ball down the field. That's the goal at the end of the day. Sure, it might look weird, right? He doesn't have the athleticism of Anthony Richardson, but you know what? If he's getting the ball down the field, who cares how athletic he looks while doing it? And also, he looks athletic while doing it. I mean, look at that play. Like, that's a good, athlete type play. It's just weird because the frame doesn't match the results, if that makes sense. So maybe even athleticism is the wrong word. Maybe I should go with more of body type. That's kind of the main thing. One play I want to talk about here, which is, so this one, it's going to be a, second down and 2. It was not all perfect from Howell. And I do wonder, just on paper, you think about it and you say, okay, well, this stuff shouldn't work at the next level because of this play. Watch how when Howell takes a snap, he's going to look down the field, doesn't love what he sees, and now he's going to try and scramble and see if he can figure out something else. Looks down the field, still doesn't love what he sees, though. And as you see, he's going to eventually get sacked for over 10 yards. I mean, this was a disastrous sack by Sam Howell where he really lost a ton of yards, and you'd have liked to see him minimize the damage, but it's just kind of not really Sam Howell's game. He's not a damage minimizer, He's going to try to make plays, and, I think a lot of people would say, well, how much is that going to actually work out? Well, so far, it has worked out, so maybe it's unfair to be too concerned about it. I don't know. But yeah, those are my thoughts on Sam Howell. What are yours? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.